is your daily market review for Thursday, August 8th, 2024. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market review for Thursday, August 8th, 2024. Another interesting day in the market. They're definitely not making it simple. However, as we talked about, trade around positions, talked about in the live chat today, especially the Monday and Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday sequencing that potentially can happen, and just light volume choppiness, and that the market could hold up into the CPI data and OPEX next week, especially with a lot of people probably buying short-dated puts. We've talked about this. It's a probability-based game. You got to manage your positions, and it's just not always going to be easy. So if you're new to the channel, check out the Discord room, a link in the description below. As we talked about in this live chat, know your levels. There's some interesting opportunities at specific stocks at certain areas, certain stocks getting into the spots that you should be watching, and that, hey, if you have, this mindset that you just can't be wrong, it's just, you're going to struggle, and you got to manage positions. I mean, I still think in time we will have bigger down moves, but as we've talked about, you go in one direction, you chop, then you continue. You go in one direction, you chop, then you move on. It's not always simple, especially in the summer with light volume and people not around and all sorts of games that are going to get played. And again, we'll talk about the levels, we'll talk about what to expect. And again, check out this whole video. It's well worth it. And if you have a chance, watch the live chat. It's about 20 something minutes. Definitely worth talking about and looking at. So if you want to follow, check out Twitter, also posting all of our trades, also some insights on real estate. If you need to chat, again, hit me up. Let's talk. Let's figure it out. Let me know how I can help. Plenty to talk about, whether it's trading, psychology, markets, what to expect moving forward. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate and also invest, I got you covered. I will take it personally if you buy or sell a house anywhere in this country and you don't reach out, because I can help you out. My network, again, is to put you into touch with the best agents and also be involved. You get 2 agents for the price of 1 if I refer you out and find a great agent that I know in your area. And I promise, I have agents everywhere. Again, EXP, we are the largest real estate company in the world. We have connections everywhere. I am connected to the top agents, and I'd love to help you out. Please, I'll take it personal. Slap to the face if you make a move and you don't connect with me and you don't let me help. I appreciate it if you do. Again, folks who have great reviews, go check out my reviews. I promise you, got you covered. Also, check out the website. Plenty of information. Again, this is the goal. Turn profits into passive income and trading. Like, subscribe, and notification bell. You would have got a notification if you did for the live chat today. Well, worth it. All right. As I said on the live chat, as the market holds up, these odds are going to come down. They're 57% at lunch, down a little bit into the close. Again, at this point, cutting rates in September. If that's the case, yikes. As we talked about, the economy is not that good if they have to start cutting quickly. I mean, they literally just finished raising them a few months ago. Now they're going to be cutting them. Yikes. So that's the problem. That's the problem, right? If you raise rates to kill the economy and then they have to jump in and start cutting them immediately, what does that tell you, right? What does that tell you? Again, we've talked about the economy slowing. Just be careful. Bitcoin, talked about, here you go. Drops, pops, chops. Again, I don't trust any of this stuff until the Feds actually pivot. In the meantime, just be careful on this stuff. Oil, I mean, same kind of thing. I mean, I like oil, I like Bitcoin. I like anything that's related to liquidity, right? Again, not tech, but commodities, Bitcoin, digital gold, whatever, when the Feds pivot. Oil, again, I think there's downside because of economic slowdown. Potential, I mean, not potential, but keep in mind, we got to refill the SPR. Yikes. Natty gas, chopping around the lows. Again, I've said this we've pretty much nailed this one pretty dang well. Talked about buying down here. Said beware of the head and shoulders top. Said we'd probably come back down to range. I mean, again, I still think what would be ideal, little bull trap, boom, slam, market, crush, then you buy it back. You're just sitting here pretty. And again, maybe this is the bottom, and if you want to play there, you go right ahead. Again, I think there's trades out there. Again, it's all about what's the best trade. What can you do? Dollar. Said today I thought the dollar was not going to finish well. This candle, kind of ugly looking. Oversold rally. Keep an eye on it. TLT. Talked about adding, right? Adding down in this area, said 8-10 day doji, and then you gap down today, and here we go, 90, said 94, 95. Look, the volume, light volume. Talked about taking profits up near 100. Congratulations if you did. I mean, this trade is like, this is like the perfect kind of trade, because here you go. You go up, you pull back, go up, pull back, retest, fail, make a higher low, boom. And now we're in the uptrend, but here you go. It pulls back. And again, support. And if you're wrong, you get stopped out. That's part of trading. If you think you're always going to be right, silly, 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 silly. VIX. Again, we talked about it. It's after this big move, it's going to consolidate. Expecting low 20s. Posted on this endlessly. Just kind of paying attention to it. VIX, same kind of thing. Back testing. Not rocket science. SPY. Interesting close, right? Squeezed. Big volume. I mean, check the 10-minute at the close. I mean, this is exit liquidity in my opinion. I mean, easy. Easy. I mean, millions of shares. Keep an eye on it. Look what we said. Watch the 100-day, 8-10-day. I mean, could you get back into this 530? That's always possible. Fill the gap. I mean, you're close. This is where I was saying, like, if you want to layer into index shorts, it makes sense once you get up here, especially QQQ, right? Like, look at this, right? Right in this gap fill. I mean, could you get to the 100-day? I mean, all that's possible. That's why it's a probability-based game. You know, you take your best shots, you do the best you can, you pull back. IWM, talked about this, can't even get up to 50-day, lagging. It shows you a lot, especially financials. Some of the financials, interesting action. DIA, 50-day, okay, good to fill the gap. You've got multi-day ranges here. If you gap up tomorrow morning, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to squeeze it, and then we'll see what happens. Or just kind of a chop around going into OPEX, and then they could fill them. Gold, again, with the dollar down, not surprised, chopping around. Silver, this thing's gotten absolutely toasted. Okay, due for a bounce. GDX, chopping around. We talked about these names. There's just not a lot to them. Again, I'd like them in the long term, but I would like to see them get kind of slapped around. GDXJ is lagging down. This is what it is. AEM, talked about this one's been acting way better than the other miners. AG, I mean, this thing is just sad. Sad sack of crap. AEM, right? Chopping around. Sorry, Newmont. We like this one. I mean, this thing should be in the 80s, 70s, 80s, but just hit range highs, backing off. I'd be careful that this is forming some sort of complex head and shoulders formation, because, again, when they throw the baby out the bathwater, miners will get crushed. Just be careful, okay? Ten cuidado. Pass, again, another silver name, little complex head and shoulders. Here you go, left shoulder, right shoulder, head, kapow. Head with a double top. Does that make sense? Sometimes it's not always clean and simple. Taiwan semi, this is on the radar, too short. On the radar. Red alert, red alert, red alert. 20-day, 50-day fib. I mean, could you get back up to 171? It's always possible. Oversold bounce. Again, here you go. Again, things that bounce big, keep an eye on them. Because, again, they can have like these big moves either way. Micron, I mean, just has got nothing in it. AMD, I know they're up a few points, but they're just holding around the bottom. NVIDIA, if you shorted this in the 108s, you're looking pretty good. 100-day, seems to be chopping. SMCI, we talked about this thing's got a date with the 400 handle. Got it. Is at the bottom? Okay, I don't know. That's on you. Be careful. Intel said this yesterday. I was like, due to bounce, this thing has been just absolutely throttled. Okay. It's like the dividend, and then they sold it, which is interesting. I don't know. Just keep an eye on it. Be careful out there, okay? Again, it's traders market. Summer's choppy, sloppy traders market. Adobe, 2-day range, 8 and 10-day. You've got a reference here. You can look to the left, 530 plus area. Keep an eye on that. Apple said, watch what happens when you get back up here. I think, again, you can short this. Nice doji at the 50-day. Maybe it hits the even 8 and 10-day. I mean, you can see, very clearly. Hopefully I don't have to just always draw this stuff, but sorry, getting back over here. Like, you can see there's some wicks down here, right? You got this area right around here. That wouldn't surprise me. So, got any questions? Again, holler at your boy. Amazon, it's hard to short this with this small of a bounce. Would really like to see the 200-day in this gap test. Meta, 510, 510, 510, 510. Keep an eye on this. Now, again, could it get a little higher? I mean, knowing this thing, how wild it is, how it can move $1 or $2 on like a couple thousand shares. Absolutely. I'd be watching that. CRM had a nice bounce today. Okay, cool. Again, these things have they've been stair-stepping down. This is what we talk about, the steps down. Chop, chop. Okay, Even in this, all right, this would, I mean, this is where it's almost like a knee bend to fail. Like we dive, right? So what levels 20-day? I don't know. Just that one looks interesting. Keep an eye on it. Guggenheim, man, is somewhere around this 165, made the 8-10-day, maybe let it catch up. Just, again, keep an eye on it. Microsoft, I thought this would be bouncing more. It's got nothing. NDAQ, again, I like the short in here on any bounce. I mean, here you go. That area looks good. MicroStrategy, again, 68 to 70 makes sense. Why is my MicroStrategy chart all like, where'd all my charts and lines and graphs go? No. It's like everything got removed. It's like, hold on. I apologize. Why? Who cleared my chart? Oh, well. All right, let's do the drawings. You've got a box here, right? You got a box down here. You're in between ranges. Talked about this thing. Sorry, just drawn on the fly. Keep an eye on this because, again, if this gap, 100-day, if you have an upside bounce, probably near term, your guess is really as good as mine on this one near term, right? Like I expect if Bitcoin comes back, could it come back to the trend? Oh, that's why it's split. Duh. I'm like, what the hell? No, I apologize. All this stuff is up at like, look here, watch. It's all higher. Now it's all gone. I apologize about that. I totally forgot today was a split day. Yeah. Got to redraw it all. It kind of sucks that doesn't bring it down with it, but it is what it is. Just keep it on it. Be safe. I apologize for the brain fart. Had a Joe Biden moment. Man. Like, what's going on here? At least the moving averages get reset. So just keep an eye on it. I don't trust this, right? Like, it's the thing. I just don't trust it. Especially, near term. Netflix, 100-day, 20-day. Put an alert out on that one. Roblox, again, and it's just dead cat bouncing, chopping around. Pan W. Makes sense, right? We talked about this one could potentially be a nice short here. Like you go down fast, you bounce back, you hit some levels. I would expect some pullback. I mean, I think there's 10 to 15 points down to 300. Tesla said the 200-day is now like the red alert on it. Can't really get over it. Just seems to be a dead cat bouncing. Again, I personally wouldn't touch it. Oh, SMH, I don't know why I forget sometimes to do this. Here you go, multi-day range, 8 and 10-day, maybe a little even higher. Good. Insight hits the trend line. Not surprised it bounces after a down move. Again, I like this thing in the 50s. Stuff that's in your portfolio, forget about it. McDonald's, kind of just chopping around. I really don't have, I'm kind of watching this. Like 200-day would be ideal. It's kind of like, you can hear my voice. I'm not really sure. I want to play with this in between levels. DKNG, you're welcome. We said this thing was going to get cooked. You're welcome. Now, near term, again, chop. Could it go into this slop chop? I mean, again, it depends on the market. But if the market takes the ride down even harder, yeah, it's gone. Airbnb, we talked about this thing being oversold. Not surprised it's bouncing, but man, it didn't get much bounce at all. Costco, this area matters, and this makes sense. 50-day, if you want to short. Because again, this is the thing. You get these oversold, like quick rallies, and people kind of jump in, and then the volumes die. You use the references. It feels right. Starbucks, dead cat bounce. Again, not really too. This is just one of those choppy, sloppy, crappy stocks. Federal Express, right? FedEx, 50-day chopping. Caterpillar, watching. Again, I agree with Jay Solstice on this. Again, 50-day was looking at it, didn't take it. And said this in the live chat. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a wick or some other crap. But I've also seen this thing where it closes at the highs and then it does something like this, right? Or it gives it up, right? So I would be waiting for probably tomorrow morning. I mean, is there really any economic data tomorrow? No, there isn't. So I don't know. This is tough. I mean, I just think people will be selling into the Friday action. Nucor, this thing, just nothing today. X, again, I think they will get bought out. And here's the thing. I've said this and I'm on record. If the Dems win, U.S. Steel is getting sold to someone for it, and I can have no doubt in that. VALE, we talked about this, a global growth name, destroyed. Arrow, again, we like copper. I just like it lower prices. I mean, I think this is a big sloppy chop zone. I would love to see a teenager price on it. CCJ, again, we talked about this being the Goldman upgrade at the highs is the death nail, death kiss, whatever you want to call it. Near term, I mean, just kind of looks like a lot of things. Oversold rally. CF, we talked about this one. Maybe a pro gap. Again, not all ag is equal. I was watching this today, 200-day in the trend line. I mean, you broke the down channel. This one looks better. I mean, maybe they're a buyout target. I would keep an eye on this one. Right? I mean, all of them are in big consolidation patterns, but that, I think it could have another 5, 6, 10 points in it. Mosaic, I mean, these names are just pinned to the ground. NTR, pinned to the ground. You get my point? NTR looks a little interesting. If CF goes, this one could be a bear trap today. A lot of volume down here. So again, I'm not saying I don't know if it's a long-term bottom, but if this ain't like a near-term oversold rally, if the market just chops around, that makes sense to me. Aaron. Aaron. Here you go. We talked about oversold rally. We talked about, again, we like aluminum long-term. Let it play out. XLF. Interesting, like choppy, sloppy action in the close. Look at the 10-minute again. Just, I mean, who holds all the risk? Banks. We talked about watching these levels up here. If you're buying the FAS under 10, feels pretty right to me. JP Morgan, again, if they're not even buying back their own stock, why would you? You got multi-day ranges, 8 and 10 day. Got multi-day ranges. Again, gap here. I mean, 205, 206 feels like a gift. Morgan Stanley Morgan. We talked about this thing getting throttled. Some gaps. Now it's exacerbating backwards. And not backwards, but just backfilling. Keep an eye on it. Bank of America. Buffett can't sell fast enough. Hits the 200-day. Okay, bouncing. I'd be watching that 39 level. Goldman Snacks. Here you go. Again, another one that hit the 100-day. Got multi-day ranges here at the 50-day. KRE, you think this thing would be flying today? No. Nothing. Keep an eye on it. Another name that should be flying, the housing indexes. It's like it was leading so good. I mean, they got nothing. You see this? This makes sense. I mean, you get these dead cat bounces, and then names that should be leading aren't. Solar, pain trap, Sedge. I mean, I honestly thought 25 it might bounce. You got it post earnings. I mean, you got nothing down here. You got a little volume down here, but I mean, if you're short in the 300s, the trade is, you got to take a lot of that trade off and just watch it. ENPH is getting some upgrades. Okay, I mean, it breaks 96. It's painfully gone. First Solar, what is your thought? Again, I think it's going to be down in the 100 levels at some point. It's going to be sloppy and choppy. First Solar is hard because the volume's light. There's the liquidity's light at times. Gets kind of sloppy. HYG, again, another thing on my radar. Watching the 20-day, can't get over it. Tells you a lot. Oil, again, you got to be out of your mind to be buying corporate debt. We've talked about this. Bouncing. UNG, again, I hate this product. Right? If you made a dollar, congrats. Again, the play would be shorting the KLD when it got into the 80s. That's the trade. That's a good trade. That's 20% real quick, guys. I've talked about this. Like, again, this thing is going to get crushed. Just any major bounces, 80s are a gift. Maybe 90 if it screams up there and the volatility explodes. XOP, we talked about holding the 120. So far, so good. Right? CVE, we like this long term. I just think it's big, sloppy, choppy range. Like a lot of these names, Valero, these gasoline names seem to be holding up, chopping around. They're holding the 200 days. I mean, these names, I'm just kind of seeing if there's anything worth reporting. NPC, not really. Right? Big up, blow off, straight line move, backfilling, now chopping. And it looks like it's kind of a megaphone pattern. If you're not familiar with that, it's a really confusing hell of a formation. It's like the higher highs, lower lows. It's rather confusing, as you can see. It's a struggle bus pattern. And when I say struggle bus, like it'll confuse the heck out of people. ExxonMobil, this thing, again, is staging to break out. It's hard to believe, but it is holding up pretty damn well. Occidentals, we talked about range lows, range highs, range lows, range highs. You're in the Buffett sell zone. You're in the Buffett buy zone. I mean, remember, he's selling calls, selling puts. EQT, again, we like this long term, no doubt. Chopping around, let this thing come down. I mean, it's been down pretty good. So if it's due to bounce here, don't be surprised. Last but not least, Flex LNG. Love this. I think we'll be natural gas exporters. Let it come in with its 11% dividend yield. It's pretty solid. So again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Always here to help. Love you guys. Appreciate everyone. Have a wonderful afternoon. Check out the live chat if you get a chance. Peace.